So you asked for 1,000 crores, we gave you 1,200. We asked for 10 lakh sponsorship, you give us 20 lakh. So let's have Mr. Sunil Subramanyam on stage. Invite Mr. Suresh to come on stage and welcome the guests.
Mr. Sunil Subramanyam joined the Sundaram mutual funds in September 2005. He has handled various roles: Vice President, Executive Director, Deputy CEO. Sunil is also Board of Directors of Sundaram Asset Management Singapore Private Limited, which he has been instrumental in expanding Sundaram Mutual's footprint both domestically and internationally. He has over 3 decades of work experience in the financial service sectors across MNCs, public and private sectors. Sunil is also been recognized by the Economic Times as one of the most promising business leaders of Asia for 5 years in a row from 2018 to 2022, which is very, very commendable, sir. He has also been the most promising person with enlisting hats on his head for various awards that he's achieved and accolades in his own kitty for himself. Mr. Sunil has Masters in Business Administration from the Open University Business School, London, as is an MSc graduate from IIT Madras. He is also Certified Associate of the Indian Institute of Bankers. We take immense pleasure in welcoming you today, sir.
Welcome. சகோதரர்களே, எவ்வளோ பேர் தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருந்தீங்க? My apologies to my friends from the industry and to Shrikant Bhai. I'm going to speak in Tamil today. And second is, of course, I speak in street Tamil, so even non-Tamilians will understand. So, முதலாக வந்து திரும்ப வீட்டுக்கு வர மாதிரி இருக்கு. 1980 to 82 இங்கே தான் படிச்சேன். இந்த கேம்பஸில் மெயின் கேம்பஸில் இருந்தேன். ஸோ ரொம்ப ஒரு மாதிரி எமோஷனலாக இருக்குது. பேக் டு மை எஜுகேஷன் டேஸ். ரெண்டாவது அஃப்கோர்ஸ் ஐ பி ஃபெயிலிங் மை டியூட்டி. ரொம்ப நன்றி எங்களோட என்எஃப்ஓக்கு இவ்வளோ சூப்பராக இங்கே சப்போர்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு. மூணாவது வந்து இந்த டைட்டில் வந்து இவங்க எப்படியாவது மூடி மடிச்சு இதை முடிச்சு ஐஐடியோட சேர்ந்து பண்ணணுங்கிறதுக்காக இதை மாற்றி விட்டாங்க. அதை நான் பச்சை தமிழில் நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுறேன். அது என்ன என்னோட அர்த்தம், இந்த தெருவில் வளர்ந்த தமிழ் என்ன என்னது என்ன 3 என்ன இக்னைட் பற்ற வைக்கிறது, இன்ஸ்பயர் உசுப்பேத்துறது, டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்ம் அப்படின்னா தாக்குச்சி போட்டு மாற்றத்தை உண்டாக்கு. ரைட். ஸோ இந்த 3 தான் டாபிக். ஸோ அந்த லைன்லேயும் நான் போகிறேன். ஸோ என்னை பொறுத்த மட்டும் இப்போ வந்து அவர் உற்சவம் அப்படின்னு இந்த சொல்லிட்டு உற்சவமூர்த்தி வந்து போகிற மாதிரி செலிப்ரேஷன் நாங்கள். பட் அட் தி சேம் டைம் நான் என்ன சொல்கிறேன்னா, ஒரு ஈவெண்ட்டுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி வந்தால் இது சிந்திக்கிற நேரம். செலிப்ரேஷன் வந்து இந்த இன்வெண்ட்டோட இன்வைட் தான் உங்களுக்கு செலிப்ரேஷன். இங்கே வந்தால் நீங்கள் சிந்திச்சு ஏன் சும்மா வந்து கைத்தட்டி இது ஒரு சக்ஸஸ் பார்ட்டி மாதிரி எடுத்துக்கூடாது. அடுத்த வருஷத்தோட சக்ஸஸ் இதோட பெட்டர் எப்படி இருக்கணுங்கிறதுக்கு யோசிச்சு அப்சர்வ் பண்ணி அதை பண்ணுறது தான் முக்கியம். ரைட். ஸோ அதனால கொஞ்சம் என்னோட ஸ்பீச் வந்து ஆரம்பத்தில் நான் வந்து கொஞ்சம் டஃப் டாக் பண்ணலான் இருக்கேன். என்ன அப்போ தானே லேர்னிங் இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகும். நம்ம அடிமத்தத்தில் ஒரு ஹியூமிலிட்டியோட நம்ம வந்து சக்ஸஸ் நினச்சிட்டு எங்கே போனாலும் சரிங்க. Recent election result is a classic evidence of that, yeah, of overconfidence which comes from success, right? And the public brought them down to earth, yeah. So to that extent, நம்மளுக்கும் அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதாவது எல்லாருமே சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல், எல்லாரோட இன்கம்ஸும் பயங்கரமாக வளர்ந்துருக்கு, நம்ம கஸ்டமர்ஸோட நிலைமையும் நல்லா இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம், நம்ம நிலைமையும் நல்லா இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகிருக்கு. ஆனால் 2-3 கடுமையான விஷயம் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்க வேண்டிய அவசியம். என்ன? 144 கோடி மக்கள் தொகை, 136 பேர்கிட்ட ஆதார் கார்டு, 8 கோடி மக்கள் ஃபியூச்சர் அண்ட் ஆப்ஷன்ல விளையாடுறாங்க ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட்ல. ஏன்னா ரேசஸ்லாம் மூடிட்டாங்க இல்லையா, அதனால 4 கோடி மக்கள் தான் மியூச்சுவல் ஃபண்ட்ல இன்வெஸ்டர். பாக்கி 140 கோடி மக்களை நம்ம ஏன் தொடலை? இந்த 4 கோடி மக்களை நம்ம வந்து பெற்று பாராட்டி நம்ம பண்ணிட்டு சக்சஸ் முதுகுல தட்டிக்கிறதுல பேசணும் இல்லைங்க. அந்த 140 கோடி மக்களை ஏன் நம்ம இன்னும் கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ணல? 10 வருஷத்துல லார்ஜ் கேப் ஃபண்ட்ஸ் வந்து 12% 15% ரிட்டர்ன் கொடுத்துருக்கு. மிட் அண்ட் ஸ்மால் கேப் ஃபண்ட்ஸ் 18 to 25% ரிட்டர்ன் பர் ஆனம் கொடுத்துருக்கு. இவ்வளோ நல்ல ரிட்டர்ன், டபுள் டிஜிட். இன்ஃப்ளேஷன்லாம் விடுங்க, கவர்மெண்ட் சொல்ற இன்ஃப்ளேஷன் 6% சொன்னா, எனக்கு நான் அனுபவிக்கிற இன்ஃப்ளேஷன் 10% சொன்னா, எந்த இன்ஃப்ளேஷன் கணக்கு எடுத்தாலும் நம்ம அதோட பெட்டரா ரிட்டர்ன் டெலிவர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். அப்போ என்ன இது 4 out of 144? இது ஏன் நம்ம சக்சஸ் நம்மளை கூப்பிட்டுக்கிறோம்? முதல்ல அந்த ஒரு மிரரை நம்ம ஹார்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம பார்க்கணும். ஆஸ் அன் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஏன் இந்த சக்சஸ்? நம்ம மார்க்கெட் சொன்னார், மார்க்கெட் தான் நம்மளுக்கு தெய்வம், மார்க்கெட் தான் நம்மளுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிருக்கு. அந்த மார்க்கெட்டோட ஹெல்ப்பை ஏன் நம்மளால கஸ்டமர் பெனிட்ரேஷன் ஏன் பண்ண முடியல? இது வந்து நம்ம யோசிக்காம இந்த நாள்ல எல்லாரும் என்ன பேசுறாங்களோ அதுலேருந்து தான் நீங்க எடுத்துட்டு போகணும். எப்படி நான் வந்து அந்த பெனிட்ரேஷன், நம்ம 2 விஷயம் பெனிட்ரேஷன். ஒன்று வந்து நம்பர் ஆஃப் மக்கள் சொன்னேன். ரெண்டாவது என்ன, மியூச்சுவல் ஃபண்ட் ஆஸ் அ பர்சன்டேஜ் ஆஃப் ஜிடிபி இந்தியாவில் 17%, சிங்கப்பூர் 180%, அமெரிக்கா 150%, வேர்ல்டு ஆவரேஜ் 74% ஆஃப் ஜிடிபி. நம்ம 4 மடங்கு நம்ம வளர்ந்தாதான் வேர்ல்டு ஆவரேஜ்க்கே வருவோம். நம்ம என்ன பேசி வேர்ல்டுல லார்ஜஸ்ட் பாப்புலேஷன் சைனா ஓவர்டேக் பண்ணிட்டோம், ஃபாஸ்டஸ்ட் க்ரோயிங் கண்ட்ரி, மோடி எங்க போனாலும் கை தட்டுறாங்க, இது பண்றேன்னு சொல்லி என்ன பிரயோஜனம்? ரைட், 1/4 ஆஃப் த வேர்ல்டோட பெனிட்ரேஷன் மியூச்சுவல் ஃபண்ட் டிஸ்பைட் கிவிங் 12, 18, 24% returns across large, mid and small cap to the customer. ஏன்? ரைட்டா? ஸோ அதில் தான் வரேன் நான் சொன்னேன். ஏன்னா அதில் அந்த ஃபெயிலியரை நம்ம வந்து ஸ்டடி பண்ணணும். ஸோ சாரி, நான் வந்து சக்ஸஸை தூக்கி ஃபெயிலியராக மாற்றிட்டேன். இது ஃபெயிலியர் தானே? சொல்லுங்க நீங்க. சப்போர்ட்டிவ் என்வாயன்மெண்ட் கம்ப்ளீட்டாக இருக்கு. என்ன வேணும் உங்களுக்கு? இதோட கஸ்டமர் பெனிட்ரேஷன். இன்ஃபேக்ட் இந்த அப்ரண்ட் எடுத்ததுனால கஸ்டமர் பெனிட்ரேஷன் குறைச்சது தானே, அப்போலேருந்து இப்போ இம்ப்ரூவ் தான் இருக்கு. ஸோ எதையும் நம்ம எக்ஸ்டர்னல் ஃபோர்ஸை பிளேம் பண்ண முடியாது. இன்டர்னலாக வி ஹேவ் டு லுக் அட் இட். ஏன்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம வந்து என்ன பண்றோம்? நம்ம பண்றது தப்பு என்ன தெரியுமா? we are product pushers, not solution providers. Past returns, whether you like it or not, past returns எடுத்துன்னு போய் காமிச்சிட்டு we are trying to push a product to the customer. We are not providing a solution to the customer's needs. If we were providing a solution, the penetration will be much more. கஸ்டமருக்கு ஒரு நீட் இருந்தால் சொல்யூஷன் இருந்தால் why would he not accept it? Correct? First, let us accept that we have not provided solutions to the large population of India, large mass. So, in the 144 ன்னு சொல்லி இது பண்றேன்னு நினைக்காதீங்க. Let's take a look at a concentrated market segment. As of 2020, எனக்கு latest data இல்ல. 10% of the population controls 75% of the country's wealth. 10% of the population controls 75%. That means 144 crore population, 14 crore people who control 75%. அதிலாவது பெனிட்ரேஷன் பண்ணி தொடங்களேன். 3-4 கோடி எங்க, 14 கோடி எங்க? ஏன் அந்த பணக்கார ஆளுகிட்ட போய் உன்னால ப்ராடக்ட் விற்க முடியல? What is it? அந்த டீப் இன்ட்ரோஸ்பெக்ஷன் வந்து இஸ் வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அண்ட் ஐ டேக் யூ நவ் தேர். என்னன்னா இந்த இந்தியன் கஸ்டமர், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம வந்து இந்தியன்னா யாரு புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். இந்தியன் இஸ் அ லேண்ட் which in the Gupta age, in the Vedic Harappan age, in the Rigvedic age, was the best country in the world. Right? We were the exporters of gold and silver to everybody. Everybody used to come to our country for spices. Indigo pati ungalku theriyum, Mahatma Gandhi panna satyagraha. What from that state? Why are we here today that we are now saying, oh, now 5th rank, now 3rd rank, vandruven, then I'll come to. Why? Why did we lose it? Because by very nature, as a nation, while we are blessed with a lot of good things, unfortunately, we are subject to 2 very, very important things which have caused our psyche to get affected. First is the vagaries of the weather. We may have a few perennial rivers, Ganga, Krishna, Godavari, but most of the rivers are rain-fed. Agriculture, rain, drought, vanda. So we don't have a certainty to plan for our future. The Indian psyche. ஏன்னா எவ்ரி இயர் யூ டோன்ட் நோ, நான் போடுற நான் வயல்ல நான் நடுற நாத்து வந்து ஏதாவது வருமா வராதா, இல்ல இது வந்து எடுத்துட்டு போயிடுமா, அதனால அது ஒரு ரிஸ்க் அவர்ஷன் நம்ம மனசுல இருக்கு. ரெண்டாவது விஷயம் என்ன, ரிப்பீட்டட் இன்வேஷன்ஸ் ஸ்டார்டிங் ஃப்ரம் த சுல்தான் குத்துபுதீன். The second factor to understand நம்ம பாரதிய psyche புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். என்னன்னா repeated invasions have made us less confident as a nation. The constant invasion, the south of course is reasonably well protected, but in the north of India, நாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா repeated multiple times, 17 times Mahmud Ghazni வந்து சோம்நாத் டெம்பிளை கொள்ளையடிச்சான். திரும்ப திரும்ப வந்து everybody came in and took. So over a period, then the Muslims took over us, then the Britishers took over us. So we've always been subjugated. It's there in our psyche, and the evidence is there in your mutual fund penetration. Why? Because people inherently want the safety in their life to protect against the uncertainty of the world that India as a nation, America is blessed. They have everything. So they don't carry that lack of confidence. Whether you like it or not, Indians obey lack of confidence சொல்றேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நாளைக்கே ட்விட்டர்ல போட்டு சாகுன்னு சாப்பிடுங்க. That's not the point. நம்ம அதை புரிஞ்சுக்கலைன்னா அவங்க முன்னாடி போய் போகிறோம். ஏன் why the Indian psyche is hesitant to invest despite seeing strong double-digit return from a product over the long term? Why are we struggling? So our SIP book should be 100,000 crores, was not the 20,000 crores that we pat ourselves on the back for. The true success now. So first ஏன் சொல்றேன்னா அந்த psyche நம்ம கஸ்டமரோட psyche புரிஞ்சுக்கணும், right? Which means what? New customers are hesitant to enter the volatile equity market which you are promoting. Number one. Number two, those நீங்க penetrate பண்றவங்களுக்குள்ள they don't allow complete access to their wallet to you. என்ன கொடுக்குறாங்க? They give you access to the risk component of that money. The safety component of the money is locked away in bank deposits, is locked away in gold, is locked away in national savings certificates, public provident fund, LIC, insurance policies, anything and everything which connotes safety in his mind. That's the reality of the factor, right? So that's the first thing that we have to accept, that we have been so far greed merchants. Product pushers nu oru pakkam sonnேன். Second, we have been greed, which we are only accessing that type of customer who is comfortable with risk and greed, and through the customers you have penetrated, you are only getting access to that portion of the wallet which is willing to experiment with volatility in search of greed. We are limiting our playing field. I will play only in TNPL. I will go and play. That's the reality of the factor. How do we change this? It's really shameful that we as a industry have all the products that need to satisfy customers' every need, but we are picking only the risk reward high greed related products to the customer. Why do I say this? Take savings bank account. Who gives what? State Bank gives 2.75%. Equitas Bank maybe gives 6%, 7%, whatever. Go to value research. If anybody can Google it. Go to value research, choose money liquid fund. The worst performing liquid fund in the industry last 3 years has given 6% per annum. Why are we not marketing a product which gives double of the, and our product is as safe as State Bank of India's savings bank account. Don't compare ourselves to any other savings bank account which gives higher yield in order to attract customers. Why are we any less than State Bank? Tell me, which liquid fund has lost money for the customers? Right? So what's preventing us from marketing a 6% return product because we get 5 basis points, 10 basis points trade? So we say, yeah, boy, waste auto rickshaw fare kuda neenga kadikade edukku adu boy market pananum nenikirom. Right? You are producing a product, or you trying the solution for the customer? Customer has a need for safety. And what is the advantage? Do you think that just 6% is the only advantage? This is the worst performing fund I'm talking about. Is that the only advantage? No. Take taxation. Every month, savings bank interest is reported under AIS to the income tax authorities, and its tax get paid. In your liquid fund, only if he redeems does he pay tax. How many people touch their savings bank account for years without looking at it, boss? Until then, he doesn't pay tax on it. Isn't that a huge advantage? Liquidity in question. What liquidity? Most liquid funds in the industry today offer you 50,000 rupees instant withdrawal credit to your bank account. Which customer needs more than 50,000 on any one day? If he wants 1 lakh, make it at 11:59 and 12:01. Boss, you got 1 lakh in your account. We cater to the liquidity aspect of it. So why aren't we marketing it, boss? What is it? And step one is what? You're anyway meeting the customer to market your equity mutual fund. Can't you allocate 10% of your time to talking to him about a liquid fund? It's not additional auto rickshaw that you're going for doing this. Yes, penetrating new customers to get them to liquid, you're saying it's not worth it. But even that you should do. Why? You have to invest in your business, boss. இன்னைக்கு அவன சேவிங்ஸ் அக்கவுண்ட்ல இருந்து லிக்விட் ஃபண்டுக்கு ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணி அவன கஸ்டமரா நீங்க எடுத்தீங்கன்னா 5 வருஷம் கழிச்சு சோறு போடுவான் உனக்கு. 10 வருஷம் கழிச்சு as he gets comfort with you சோறு போடுவான். And ஏன் சொல்றேன் கேளுங்க. Because what are we in the business of? அது முதல்ல புரிஞ்சுட்டீங்களா? Now product pusher, solution provider. What are we in the business of? Without doubt you will answer. I know what I will answer. What is that? We are in the trust business. How will you earn that trust if you are not catering to all his needs? Because when you walk in the door, does he look at you? He is my financial solution provider, or he says, "Ayyo, adutha equity future vanda vikkathukku vanditaaya iva." Yeah, avan konja tea coffee koduthu ve na varen. How does the customer looking at you, boss? If you start talking to him about the fact of his safety, where you say, "Sir, your money is equally safe. You have anytime liquidity. Your tax will be this, and this is the past return of the entire industry." You don't in liquid funds. Luckily, you don't have to go and say X mutual fund, Y mutual fund, less Z mutual fund. Take the whole industry and show it to him. Sir, you choose whichever fund house you want. உங்க சேஃப்டி அண்ட் கம்ஃபர்ட் உங்களுக்கு அடுத்த கார்னர்ல உங்க பக்கத்துல இருக்க அவன் தெரியும் உங்க மாமா மச்சான் அந்த இதுல ஒர்க் பண்றான் anything you do because it's irrelevant to you, right? But are you talking that safety product to him? That's the point. நான் உசுப்பேதரன் சொல்றேன்னா if you do that, don't you think our penetration would have been much better? Without doubt. And I'll tell you one simple thing to do. I'm going to take it very seriously about this usuppedras. Okay? So, pardon me, soon you're going to regret. And I don't know. Boss, first thing you need to do this, and which will work wonders if you do it. Stop selling SIP in equities. Udane wake up. Kaathala coffee kudichilla, poite thoongiradhukku அப்படியே vandinga, suddenly open. Sell only SIP in liquid schemes and convert it to equity wealth creation only through STPs. If you do that, I'll tell you what's the difference. When you go and ask him for that allocation, you can with right ask for 50% of his monthly income as an SIP into liquid. Because you're not putting his money at risk. You're not going to ask 50% in equity, right? 50% you say, sir, unga monthly income, rental income, unga salary income, put 50% here, balance 50% enna padikitom. But you are going to multiply your penetration into his overall asset class immediately. And 20-year SIP from his salary, 50% salary into liquid fund. The money is with you in your grasp. Take 5% of that and do an STP into equity. Right? And what is the benefit of this? I'll tell you what. I don't know if there are anybody from a bank-sponsored mutual fund. If so, my apologies right at the beginning to you. The world is different from 10 years ago to 15 years ago. 10 years and 15 years ago, HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank were the only bank-sponsored mutual funds in a big way. Then SBI came in a big way. Then Canara Bank came. Now Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, everybody. What's happening is that the banker is trained to go after this customer by looking at the account statement every month to see where is he putting his money. If he puts an SIP into Sundaram mid-cap fund, he says, sir, where do you want to put it in that? Put it in my fund. That is a direct threat to you, no? You put an SIP into liquid, it's going to pass under his radar, boss. Is he going to worry so much about somebody putting an SIP into a liquid scheme? The guy doesn't know anything about investing, so So your protection, first you've got to build your armor against your main competitors, right? Which are the bankers. Right? So put that SIP into liquid, you will protect the nature of your assets, let it gather into money, and then this whole trail commission bit, right? After you do the SIP into liquid, put 10 or 15 or 20% into an ultra short term fund, boss. Ultra short term is a midway route between an equity and a liquid. You get 50, 75, 100 depending on your AMC. It's almost half of your equity you trail. And imagine if you're getting that, if you're going to take 10 times the amount that you normally pay. See what I'm saying? Penetration of mutual funds. I don't have the data statistic. 2021 was 2% of household financial savings was in mutual funds. Let's say it's doubled to 4%. Keep it 5%. Which means only 5% of the customer's wallet you're getting into equities. I'm saying you're putting 50% into liquid. If you convert 20% of that, that's 10%, the state effect doubled.
Rather than just giving aspirin to solve his headache. You're a person who's finding out why the headache is and going to the core of the problem, right? That's one aspect. The other aspect which I find that we have a huge potential to for the penetration. I talked about liquid category, but this hybrid category was designed by the industry. Now, Tamil English, Mathi pesren, okay? Designed by the industry for what? Shivam Dubey, spin basher. What is this product? It's an FD basher. How have you marketed? I know there are a few IFAs who take the monthly dividend option and sell to retired people. All that is fine. But as an industry, the hybrid category, nama seriya payan padthirikoma as what is meant to be. What is that? FD basher. Yeah. Go to value research. Take the entire hybrid category. BAF, aggressive hybrid, multi-asset funds. Average returns for the industry is double of FD returns post-tax. Average returns are 11 to 12% per annum. Right? State Bank gives 7%. Equitas maybe gives 8%. Maybe private sector gives 9%. Post-tax 9% is also only 6%. No? Right? So what is the strategy? We do market these products, but what do? We market these products to that greed-oriented customer when we feel that, oh, Sunil sir vandu soltar volatility irukum market la, ipo BAF ku shift pannunga. You tactically try and shift it to show that his losses in that period are less. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it as a solution to his FD regular income needs, which means ipso facto you sell hybrid with SWP. And put only 7% SWP because post-tax that's good enough to beat the best FD in the market, man. Don't take more than 7%. Let capital appreciation also happen. I'm telling you 12-13% these categories give you. But that's okay. And the 5% on the capital appreciation nagatome. 7%. What is the taxation element of SWP? All of you are aware, right? For the first 1 year, you suffer on the capital appreciation 15% short-term capital gains tax. What is that amount going to be? Very little. 1 year, up to 1 lakh, no tax. Excess income over 1 lakh, only 10% tax. So 7%, 10% is 6.3% post-tax. 9% FD, private sector FD, 30% tax is 6.3%, boss. How many of us have gone straight away with a hybrid product and tell him that, sir, come with FD, I'm giving you the monthly 7% in your bank account. Why are you wanting that money to slip into FDs, man? You can provide equal, and plus there is, end of the day, over a 3-year, 5-year period. Yes, short term, 1 year, you may be withdrawing more of his capital through SWP rather than giving any returns when the market is volatile. All that is fine. But what is this, the beauty of this product? Beauty of this product, like Modi ji ki guarantee, this is the MFD ka guarantee, boss. Come rain or sunshine, come recession or boom. 7% divided by 12 monthly, I guarantee that you will get in your bank account. Can anybody challenge that? You are not dependent on a fund manager, you're not dependent on the stock market, you're not dependent on the salesperson, you're not dependent on the CAMS or the KFin Tech. Entirely within your control. Do it from the moment. It's okay for the first year that he's suffering 15% tax. Don't leave it for 1 year. Another conversation will start at that time. No. Day one, you go and say, hybrid, 7% SWP. Sign the form along with the application form. Let him feel the cash in his bank account. Boss. In half our NAV is paper NAV. Market crash and real comes to know who's wearing pants or not wearing pants and the water goes below. With this SWP, there is no such thing. That money is going to hit his bank account. 1 year later, when you go to him, sir, 1 year I've given you this money. Imagine the trust and the confidence in the distributor-customer relationship that you would have engendered. Priceless, boss. Don't look at it from a revenue. Masam trail commission 7%. Endu porudhu. Shift the focus from yourself to the customer. You are providing a solution. What is the solution? Requirement for monthly cash flow. Right? So this is the second thing which I feel from our perspective, the penetration story improve pandradhukku should do. The third perspective, and I know a lot of my MFD friends do it already, but I want to do it for the rest, is you must redeem the money from the customer and give it to him when there is an event in his life without his asking for it. Because again, I'm coming back to the trust factor. You note down his wife's birthday. Note down his son's birthday. Note down his wedding anniversary. Have a few redemption slips signed from him with you. Surprise him with that a few days before that. But it's very hard, no? And the panam porthe ayyo in a trail commission la vandalu koranjirum and we die in frozen. What is the amount we are talking about? What? 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh. Get him get a diamond bracelet for his wife. Get a cricket bat for his son. So know your KYC know your customer truly, boss. Leave this Aadhaar card, PAN card, janjat efforts. Know your customer means you know his son's birthday. You know his son's likes and dislikes. Go buy that cricket bat. Appa kudukka maatengran cricket bat. Neenga kondu poi kudunga avanta. Of course, direct kudutradinga. Appa kuduthu kudu solunga. Adhe mari wife ku ado neenga kudukudadhu. Right? But seriously solren. நம்ம அந்த ட்ரஸ்ட் பிசினஸ் இருக்கிறதுனால அந்த ட்ரஸ்ட் எப்படி பில்ட் பண்ணோம்னா உங்களோட வேல்யூவை நீங்க டெமான்ஸ்ட்ரேட் பண்ணோம். ஒருத்தரையும் NAV அக்கௌண்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வச்சு தான் பாருங்க ஆசை காட்டி மோசம் வருது, பிரயோஜனமே இல்லை. Give it to him in cash. I'm sorry, I'm speaking very harsh language, right? Give it to him in cash at the time when he has forgotten his wife's birthday, boss. You have bailed him out. The trust factor will be X-fold. I don't know, half of you, will you put up your hand saying how many of you have forgotten your wife's birthday? தைரியம் இருக்காது கை தூக்கிறதுக்கு, விட்டுருங்க. But I'm just saying, this is the record that you need to have with the customer, right? And if you do this regularly, little bloodletting, கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா give it to him, then his confidence in you, the trust, ultimately தான் சொல்றேன், we are in the trust business. அதை மறக்கக்கூடாது. அந்த ட்ரஸ்ட் பண்றதுக்கு என்னெல்லாம் நம்மளால பண்ண முடியுமோ, we must put it into plan. Then I said, பத்த வைக்கிறேன். The next point I wanted to raise, I know டெம்பிள்டன்லேருந்து யாரும் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் இல்லையா இங்கே? ஆனந்த் வரல, சரி. ஏன்னா நான் வந்த காலத்துலேருந்து 40 வருஷமாக ஃபைனான்சியல் சர்வீஸில் இருக்கேன், 20 வருஷம் ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 18.5 years இங்கே இருக்கேன். இந்த பெருசாக நம்ம சொல்லிக்கிறது என்ன தெரியுமா, இந்த கெட் அவுட் ஆஃப் ஜெயில் கார்டுன்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது. இந்த ட்ரேடு மொனாப்பிலாம் ஆட்டிங்கன்னா ஒரு கார்டு அந்த ஜெயில் வந்தால் யூ கேன் ஜம்ப் த ஜெயில் மாதிரி, அந்த கார்டு நமக்கு எல்லாம் என்ன தெரியுமா, டைம் இன் த மார்க்கெட் இஸ் பெட்டர் தென் டைமிங் த மார்க்கெட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு, என்ன ஆனாலும் மார்க்கெட் டவுனா சார் வெயிட் சார், டைம் இன் த மார்க்கெட் இஸ் பெட்டர் தென் டைமிங் த மார்க்கெட். இது சொல்லி ஃபண்ட் மேனேஜர்ஸ் உங்களுக்கு ஆறுதல் சொல்கிறாங்க, நீங்கள் கஸ்டமருக்கு அதே சொல்லி முடிச்சிங்க. பட் த வேர்ல்ட் இஸ் சேஞ்சிங். Why? Information explosion at the customer's end. Next, transfer of ownership of the assets mentally to the customer's children, who are looking at moneycontrol.com, valueresearch.com, everything, and looking at passives and looking at direct and looking at everything and saying, what are you doing? Are you போய் லார்ஜ் கேப்ல போய் இவ்வளோ பணத்தை போட்டுருங்க பாருங்க, ஸ்மால் கேப் 20-40% ரிட்டர்ன் கொடுத்து அப்பா இவருக்கு என்னப்பா தெரியும்னு சொல்லிட்டு, இட்ஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் வித்வுட் யுவர் நாலேஜ். How do you counter that is through active asset allocation. Don't run away, don't hide behind this time in the market story. You are the owner of the customer. His best interest you act in. Not churn because an NFO came and you do it for churning for the sake of brokerage. No. But you have to actively churn, because if you don't become active as a manager in the customer's mind of his assets, he will go to passive. It's a slow death. It'll happen. Most of your customers are 40s, late 40s, 50s, okay, but their children are coming into their 20s. They are beginning to look at their father's portfolio. And the younger of your customers are already looking. Why the world has gone to passives? Why India is slow behind? We are only slow behind. We are also going there. How are you going to add value? You're going to add value by doing both strategic and tactical asset allocation based on what you gather. There are short-term ways to look at it by valuation discount. I will tell you one example, okay? I'll come to the short-term later. There are medium-term ways to do it. I know we just launched a business cycle fund, so I'm going to use the same terminology, but this business cycle has nothing to do with what we launched as business cycle. Saying that when business cycles, and those sessions attend, you know, I've been talking about this for the last decade, right? When the economy, domestic economy is doing well, it's in a good business cycle, then small caps outperform mid caps and mid caps outperform large caps. When the economy goes through a slowdown or a downturn, the reverse is true, right? So when you see what the business cycle, enga point economy, right? Accordingly, you should tactically change the asset allocation. Though Padu is very happy with what I'm saying. You have to change the asset allocation based on the lay of the land. You have to increase small caps and mid caps when the going is good, and then reallocate when things are not going good. But with the knowledge to the customer, not simply, sir, no, engage the customer with your knowledge. Because, like I said, it's about winning the customer's trust. You can go wrong. Don't get fear of failure. But as long as you take the customer with the logic, sir, idudan, I've heard, I've listened, I've seen the track record, ipdi nadakkuradhu, ipo tacticala, or 5% can we switch? Start with small. When he sees that's working, then you up it. Don't go and say 50% of your portfolio for matilan. Start with small, but show that you have got some knowledge, you are applying the knowledge, you are active in understanding the customer's risk profile, and you are trying to deliver a solution which suits him. For some person it will be 5%, sometimes you can put 10%. But reallocating the portfolios over a 3 to 5 year period based on business cycles will add immense value to your portfolios rather than fill it, shut it, forget it, and just put it and say, oh, sir, FlexiCap will take care. What FlexiCap is not FlexiCap, boss. Everybody knows why it's not FlexiCap. Why a fund manager is not able to truly be flexible. Because the pressure on the benchmark. How many minutes? 5 minutes. Hey, Yamatringa. 9:15 to 9:55. Please, anybody, can you look at that thing, please? Yo, KP. வாரியா சதி பண்றதுக்கு எனக்கு இங்கே ஆள் உட்காண்டாங்க. டோன்ட் வரி, சும்மா கால் வர்றேன். நான் படிக்கிறேன், சும்மா வரேன்னு நினைக்காதீங்க. Okay, so what I was saying, I'm saying FlexiCap, yeah, because simply, benchmark is Nifty 500, that has 74% large caps. ஒரு பக்கம் செபி உட்காந்துக்கான், ஒரு பக்கம் MD உட்காந்துக்கார் saying, நீ benchmark beat பண்ண உனக்கு bonus கிடையாது. So where is his interest? It's in protecting his bonus, not about protecting your customer's interest, boss. I'm being very harsh here, honestly. நான் வேலைக்கு வரேன், எதுக்கு வரேன் நான்? As a fund manager, I want to secure my future, boss. Which is beat the benchmark. By allocating, today average of the industry has 64% in FlexiCap, despite the fact that 1 year, small caps, mid caps, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year have handsomely beaten large caps. Why the industry hasn't been able to shift to a 40% large cap in a FlexiCap product? You are not aware of the business cycles? No way. Of course they are. ஏதாவது ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா லார்ஜ் கேப் பண்ணிட்டு நான் வந்து அண்டர் பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்றேன். என்னோட ஃபியூச்சர் அட் ஸ்டேக் பா. கஸ்டமர் அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம், டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட்டர் அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம். So honest, I'm being very honest to truth. Everybody works for their reward and recognition. The fund manager is working in the alignment. As long as your customer is happy with Nifty 500 index and you beat பண்ணிட்ட, happy now, fine. Sorry, customer is not like that. கஸ்டமர்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு சென்செக்ஸ், ஒரு மார்க்கெட்டு, ஒரு மணி கண்ட்ரோலில் ஒரு ஸ்மால் கேப் ஃபண்டோட ரிட்டர்ன் இருக்கு, ஒரு $0 ஒரு ரிட்டர்ன் பார்க்குறான். He will say, what are you doing? You are supposed to be my advisor. So asset allocation, flexi cap, இதெல்லாம் categories for the industry. But we are bound by certain rules of the industry like benchmark a bit பண்ணணும் இது பட் பண்ணணும். So the hands are constrained. I'm not saying the fund manager doesn't know the customer's best interest he has. But it is, I have to secure my interest also while securing the customer's interest. Let's not forget that. But you are not like that. Your direct reward is in the customer's reward. Because this asset allocation change, if his NAV improves, you hand in hand gain by trail commission more, no? You are not at a dichotomy with the customer. Customer மட்டும் benefit, எனக்கு benefit இல்லைன்னு இல்லையா உங்களுக்கு? Whereas fund managerக்கு என்ன allocation பண்ணாலும் எனக்கு அதே TER, என்ன அதே salary, அதே bonus தானேயா? But you are owning the customer. நீங்க அசெட் அலோகேஷன் பண்ணி ஒரு 5% அடிஷனல் ரிட்டர்ன் கொடுத்தா அவனுக்கு அந்த 5% அடிஷனல் உங்க ட்ரெயில் கமிஷன் அடிஷனல் 5% வருதா இல்லையா உங்களுக்கு? You are perfectly aligned with the customer. Your interest in the customer's interest go hand in hand. Right? So, and I want to end it now with, since you said 5 minutes, with saying that this is all 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years. There are short-term opportunities if you apply your mind. And tell me, 1 year ago, April of 2023, யாருக்காவது டவுட் இருந்ததா இந்தியாவோட எக்கனாமிக் growth பத்தி? We are the fastest growing country in the world 1 year ago. Everything was fine. Indiaவோட story was fine. Demographic dividend, everything was good. Anybody here who had a doubt 1 year ago? 3 years ago, we were coming out of COVID. Will we recover? V-shaped, U-shaped, K-shaped, and போட்டு குழப்பினியா? 1 year ago, there was no doubt. Is anybody had a different point of view 1 year ago? I can assume no. Go back and see. In April 2023, 1 year forward P. Mid cap was trading at 8% discount to large cap. Small cap was trading at 3% discount to large cap. Today, mid cap is at 22% premium. Small cap is at 15% premium. You would have delivered 28% per annum additional return for every rupee that 1 year ago you switched from large cap to small cap, boss, or mid cap. So valuation gap, RD sale was going on, boss. Nothing wrong with India. Market had not recognized the potential of small cap and mid cap at that point in time. ஒரு 5% risk எடுக்கிறதுல என்ன தவறு போறதுங்க? அது பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா imagine what the customer's opinion of you would have changed, how much trust you would have built, actual returns you would have delivered additional, not only to him but your trail commission also. So active asset allocation has got to be the way to increase the trust in the customer. And if I say all of this, right, I'm telling you, your future is going to be absolutely bright. Why do I say this? Because as a country, the speakers during the rest of the day will talk to you about it, but we all know long term, 15 years, 20 years, stock market beats nominal GDP. So just to get a reality check, India is already growing at 7.5%, 8%. Inflation is at 5 to 6%. We are growing at 12, 13 or 14% nominal GDP. Stock market beats nominal GDP. So give it another 1 or 2%, 15%. Fund management as a overall, large capital may struggle to beat it, but large, mid, small, broader market overall, they will beat it by at least 1 or 2%. So I'm saying that you are going to sit on, without doing anything, 16%, 17% return on your assets. All I'm asking you to do is to add 1 or 2% to your AUM growth, to penetration, to this. And if you grow it at 18% per annum, the rule of 72 tells you very simply, right? What is it? 18%, 72 by 18 is 4. 4 years you double. 8 years, 4 times. 12 years, 8 times. 16 years, 16 times. So this is something that I've been talking about for quite some time as the power of 16 by 16. That through your efforts, if you add just a 2% alpha to your AUM growth through customer penetration, reallocation of customers' assets over the next 16 years, your asset base will multiply 16 times, which means what? இன்னைக்கு 65 கோடி AUM நீங்க மேனேஜ் பண்ணியிருந்தீங்கன்னா, you will be managing 1,000 crores by the year 2040. Thank you very, very much. Natri.
Thank you for the powerful talk, sir. It was really enlightening for all of us today. I believe you have correctly stated the 3 triggers of today's point, which is ignite, inspire, and transform, where you've ignited the souls today for us to understand the financial gravity.
inspired all of us today seated here for the souls to understand how financial gravity have to be taken more seriously. Transformation, as Sundar sir said, it has to be within. So I'm sure all of us have understood that.